Anticipation is building for this upcoming TV show, The Last of Us, which is based on the 2013 video game of the same name. It's thought the show will stick closely to storylines from the game, especially after one recent set video leak revealed a near-accurate scene from the hit game. Today we're discussing The Last of Us set video, plus other bits and pieces from the show, so stay with us. First up, what's it all about? Well, first, it's based on the 2013 third-person action-adventure game from Naughty Dog, which follows Joel, your character, who's given the arduous task of transporting a young girl, Ellie, across a post-apocalyptic US landmass. And whilst it is thought the show will stick quite closely to the game, we cannot be exactly sure how much. The synopsis, which was revealed earlier this year, reads, "The story takes place 20 years after modern civilization has been destroyed. Joel, a hardened survivor, is hired to smuggle Ellie, a 14-year-old girl, out of an oppressive quarantine zone. What starts as a small job soon becomes a brutal, heartbreaking journey, as they both must traverse across the US and depend on each other for survival." And it was also revealed a couple of years back when the show was first suggested that it will cover the events of the original game, with the possibility of additional content based on the forthcoming game's sequel, which is fantastic news for fans of the game. This clearly suggests that there could be further seasons after the first, which for fans of the second game also means good news. This all sounds pretty great. What do you guys make of another TV show / game adaptation? Let us know below. So let's talk about the set video. Stay tuned. Prior to its release sometime next year, a set video has appeared online, giving fans a glimpse into what they can expect. The video in question shows our two main characters, Joel and Ellie, played by Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey respectively, as Ellie opens up a door for Joel after clambering through a grate. The pair is with Henry and Sam, but although it's not exactly take for take, there are clear similarities. As we know, the show is set to tell the story of the first The Last of Us game and features the charismatic actor behind Game of Thrones' Oberyn Martell, Pedro Pascal, as our hero Joel. The series has also borrowed its other lead, Bella Ramsey, from the hit HBO show. She played the feisty Lyanna Mormont across 9 episodes until she met her sticky end at the hands of a giant during battle. And the official aforementioned synopsis has also hinted that the show will probably carry on in the same vein of the recent video footage, sticking relatively close to the game footage for inspiration, which is probably the best way to approach a show based on a game, right? We cannot wait to see what the crew in charge of bringing the game to life have done with this one. What do you guys think about the footage? Let us know below. What else did we learn from the video? It has been rumored that there's a huge budget for this one, in the neighborhood of around 10 million per episode, but following the on-set video leak, we now have a slightly better idea of what we can probably expect. Of course, there is a huge similarity between what we saw and what happened in the game, and fans have now suggested there will be more scenes which mimic the game. But it is so far unclear as to what else might be included. But it hasn't stopped avid The Last of Us fans from speculating. When we look at the video game in more detail, it doesn't actually follow Ellie into the tunnel as it does in the game because the clip is pretty brief, so we're not sure if this will happen or not. What we do know, however, is that the game is probably going to stick fairly closely to the source material, and fans of the game will be delighted that the TV show looks as though it is doing the game justice from the small bit we've seen so far. What other parts of the game do you think they will include? Who else can we expect to make an appearance then? Well, joining Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are a whole host of other great acting talents, including Gabriel Luna, who, as you probably know, stars as Robbie Reese or Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Gabriel will play Tommy Miller, who's Joel's younger brother and also a former soldier who harbors a slightly unrealistic hope of creating a better world. Gabriel even lived in Austin, Texas, around the time when the game was set, which gave him an advantage over other actors trying for the role. Nico Parker will also be joining the cast as Sarah, Joel's daughter, and Anna Torrey, who has recently appeared in the hit show Mindhunter, as well as The Newsreader, will be playing Tess, Joel's smuggling partner, when The Last of Us drops. Merle Danridge is playing Marlene, the leader of the Resistance, who also appeared in the game as the same character, and Jeffrey Pierce of Bosch fame will also stop by as Perry. The rest of the cast will be made up of Murray Bartlett, who was superb in his last role as Armand on The White Lotus, as Frank, and Storm Reed as Riley, who has most recently appeared on the hit show Euphoria. Con O'Neill will also be stopping by as Bill. Who are you guys most excited about seeing when the show makes its debut next year? Let us know below. Next up, when exactly can we expect to see it? Well, considering filming began last summer, it is thought that it's now finished. But of course, with any show like this, the post-production can take anywhere up to a year. The full production isn't expected to wrap until this summer, but it could easily run over as there are always reshoots. It was never really expected that the show would debut this year, and that seems to be the case as HBO Chief Content Officer Casey Bloys has spoken of recently. He simply said, "It's not 2022," when asked when we can expect it to drop, which hints at the probability that we are set to see it in 2023 at the very earliest. Are you looking forward to this one? What do we know about the team behind the show then? Stay tuned to find out. The Last of Us was announced in June 2020, and as we know, will use the Naughty Dog game as the inspiration, but it's also thought that the show could incorporate both games into the first season. And show writer Craig Mazin, who has also worked on superb shows like Chernobyl, will have a heck of a job on his hands to make sure it stays as true to the game as possible. The show will also have a range of different directors on board, including the game's director Neil Druckmann, who we know will be at the helm for at least one of the episodes. It's also thought that Kantemir Balagov, who was also behind Closeness, will also be directing at least one of the episodes too. And Druckmann was also behind a Twitter post recently in which he revealed a picture of Joel and Ellie from behind, which shows the pair as almost identical to their game counterparts. It is also thought that the main filming location will be Alberta, Canada, and the music for this one will be handled by Gustavo Santaolalla. The show will premiere on HBO and will also be released in conjunction with Sony Pictures and PlayStation Productions. And finally, a Pedro Pascal mishap in preparation for the part. Stay with us. As you could have probably guessed, lead actor Pedro Pascal was tasked with the job of actually playing the game before taking on the role. But being a gentleman in his late 40s wasn't particularly up to the task. That's not to say you elder statesmen aren't adept at playing video games, just not Pedro. The actor revealed that although he had attempted to play the game to try to get grips with the character he would be portraying, he had to give up after a short time and hand off the research to his nephew. Talking recently, he revealed how he only made it through a few minutes of the game before handing it off to his younger relative, saying, "It's so sad, I haven't any skill. I tried, you know, and then it was only a matter of minutes before I had to hand it over to my nephew. It really takes a specific kind of skill, and I don't have it." We get it, Pedro. Games these days have so much going on that you really need to have grown up playing them. So it's more than understandable. Don't worry, Pedro. Have you guys played The Last of Us? Let us know what you thought below. As always, thanks for dropping by today, and remember to join us next time when we will be discussing loads of different bits and pieces. And also, why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video, as well as subscribing to our channel. Bye, guys.